And shortly after I began streaming, we met through by chance through a Facebook post. And basically from there, it was chemistry, right? And then, but it was during that time that you had started streaming a few months prior. And I wanted to give everyone here a chance to find out, how you got started. So what is it? Why did you actually start streaming on Twitch, and what was the origin of your stream?
Well, I guess we have to go back like ages ago. I started playing video games at about 2, and I'm just like you, 80s baby. Grew up on Nintendo.
Yep.
Super Mario, Ninja Turtles, POW. You already know these titles in which
POW, man. Holy cow.
Right, the titles in which we rage over. So the origins go way back to the 80s, all the way through the 90s. Growing up, I grew up with my grandparents, so it was just me and the two of them. Only child, basically. All I had was toys and my video games, and I would always ask my grandfather to come watch me play the game. And he had no clue what was going on. He had no clue what I was doing. He just wanted to sit with his grandson and watch me play SNES. And it made me feel comfortable. It made me feel complete to have somebody to keep me company as being, the only child.
Yeah.
I would get a lot of enjoyment after having friends come over. Whether they knew how to play the game or not, they would sit with me and we would just play together, or if it was something that they didn't know how to play, they would sit and watch. So I guess we can say that I've always wanted to be a part of something to where I could watch other people play video games and people could watch me.
So you were streaming before the internet. you had buddies coming over, you had grandpa sitting down with you, and you were already entertaining even at 2, 3, 4 years old. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's pretty much what you're hearing right now, man. We came way before things happened.
Yeah.
So I'd say about 10 years ago, possibly even 11, I had an old friend that I used to work out with who told me about a platform to where you could watch people play video games. At the time, it wasn't called Twitch. It was called Justin TV. I'm pretty sure some of you may remember that. Maybe you don't. Yeah. Formerly known as Justin TV. I'm pretty sure people here in the chat know that. So that was the first time I was exposed to watching somebody play video games, and I could sit there with them as well.
Yeah.
When I first came to Twitch, I was a really silent lurker. I didn't chat. I didn't do anything. I just sat and I just enjoyed the video games like a lot of people like to do on our streams. We love the lurkers. Of course, y'all already know.
Hold on a second. You were silent?
Hard to believe, isn't it?
Chat. Okay, keep going. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It took a while for me to evolve into the experience, Nate. It took a while.
That's really something too. Yeah, yes. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. So when I was exposed to it, I watched it on and off as time goes on because it was also around the time I began my career. So once that picked up, there was a time period that I stopped playing video games like completely. So there was no gaming, there was nothing. I just didn't have the time. I was at a point in time where I'd started a new career. I was in the middle of starting my family, and I just kind of got away, from the controller. When things kind of settled and I was in a bit of a comfortable position, I decided to start playing again. This was around the time that PlayStation 3 was out.
Okay.
Twitch was still a thing, of course. So if we fast forward from about 2010 to 2018, I had a PlayStation 4, and I always wondered, like, what is the share button over here? Like, what does this do? So
I'm still wondering that. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. I pressed the share button, and it says you have an option as far as streaming on YouTube or Twitch. So I'm like, let me try YouTube because I watched a lot of YouTube. And one of the first games I played on stream was Final Fantasy VII. So you all know I'm a Final Fantasy fan, of course.
Yeah.
Nobody watched. I was just there, no camera, no nothing. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go buy a PlayStation camera. So I bought a camera. I got a cheap headset, which I still have down here. I think it's like Turtle Beach or something like that. It was like $30 or so.
Probably this right here, I would imagine. This cost me like $13, so like careful.
No offense. But
he's like, yep, that is cheap. Okay, go ahead.
So no one watched, but believe it or not, if I could still find some of those videos, I talked to myself.
Mm-hmm.
I had no problem with just talking on camera or on microphone or whatnot. And then somebody came in, I cannot remember his name. It was just one person who would tune in every time I would go live. And he would say, you know something, man, you probably would do pretty well if you would come over to Twitch. I was like, man, I'm not trying to take this serious, man. I don't have time for this. I'm just playing around right now.
Yeah.
So around the time, Simple Mom actually made, she's in the chat, she'll tell you, she actually made a green screen for me.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, yeah, she made a green screen, got some green cloth, got some PVC pipes, and we had a little bootleg green screen. It worked.
Jeez, man.
It cut me out. It was awesome. And then some things occurred in 2018 that kind of took my attention away from streaming, so I just dropped it. So between 2018 and the beginning of 2020, I would go back and forth with going live. I would just go live just for the heck of it, just randomly. No expectations, no type of direction. I just did it just because I wanted to do it, and that was that.
Yeah.
Still never had anybody watching, still never had an audience. They were very, very brief lives, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then I would just quit. But 2020, and I've shared some of this stuff with you in private, but it was a really rough year for me. And as we approached the end of the year, I'd say not long around it was around my birthday. My birthday's in November. I decided that I was going to try this one more time. I told Simple Mom, I was like, you know what? I want to do this one more time. I'm watching, I'm kind of the same place I met you, the Facebook groups and like so.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of, because I was a part of those groups before I made this decision. And I would see people say, I would hear the word affiliate. I'm like, what is this? What is an affiliate?
Yeah.
And then I learned what it was. I'm like, something, maybe I can do that. Why not? So I made the decision to try to stream one final time. And if it didn't work, I was done. Completely.
So this was the last chance. You gave it one more. What? I'm dying to know what game it was that you put on there to do it one last time.
Oh.
You remember?
When I started taking it serious, Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm drinking to kill my nerves, by the way. Sorry.
Of course. Go right
ahead.
And
you're a personal trainer, so I hope you eat your heart out with this. Okay.
Oh gosh. At least have a glass of water on hand, my man.
Oh, I got a water right here. It's a lower ABV. Don't worry. Okay, so you're
I'm gonna need you to pick something up like this now.
Okay, maybe. Only because you could rip me in half if you wanted to. But I'll say, so you laid it on the line. You said one more stream, if it doesn't work, it's done. So
Yes.
So what happened there?
Well, I met some other people who all had the same goals as me, and we decided to help each other. One of the hardest things for a streamer to achieve is that average of 3 viewers, which which really seems like nothing.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to achieve, especially if you go about it the wrong way. There's just so many ways you can screw up your average.
Yeah.
So we decided to help each other, and we became affiliate. And I'm like, okay, well, that was the first goal. So what do we do now?
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah.
So I go.
I'm sorry. I was just
Go ahead.
So you had a support network. How many people about did you have as kind of a group to?
2 extra people, including Simple Mom.
Okay, so you had just enough to just make sure you supported each other to get to that level. Is that kind of the idea? And then it grew from there.